Us now, as he does every Monday, is 1984 national champion, ESPN college football analyst and insider Trevor Matich on the Deseret First Credit Union hotline via Zoom. It's another Matich Monday. Trevor, is it time to remove the blue goggles when we discuss BYU's college football playoff chances?
It is never time to remove the blue goggles. Start there. But when it comes to the playoff chances, the biggest hit to them, besides their own schedule, is the return of play of the Big Ten and the Pac-12. Because at this point, you would have a Pac-12 champ, a Big Ten champ added to the mix. The Big 12 right now is in a bit of trouble. You could have two contenders out of the SEC, not just the champion. And all these things make a bit of a traffic jam for that number 4 spot. That's not to say whether or not BYU might be worthy of that. Just to say the way that the whole operation works, I wouldn't want to put the pressure on them that if they don't make the playoff, they didn't reach their pinnacle of potential.
Yeah, the playoff still feels wild, which I'm donning the blue goggles. I just have to. Trevor, last week or 2 weeks ago, I said I'd shave my head if BYU goes to the playoff. I just think it's going to be hard in the end with the schedule. Let's see what happens. But a New Year's 6 is certainly a thing now. BYU's up to 12 without playing a Power 5. And they've won convincingly in 4 of the 5 games. And now BYU has its best win of the season under its belt in Houston at number 12. We're at the halfway point. Things are going perfectly right now. Do you feel like BYU is going to be in a position to be undefeated and for a New Year's 6 at the end of the season?
Yeah, in position, yes. The undefeated part is the hard part, because they still have some real obstacles to face. And so I don't want to say that they're just going to run the table. Let's just say that they will. But if they do, then, yeah, they'll be in position to be in that top 12. And I think it helps them that this season has gone the way it has for them. BYU has been a real breakout media darling nationally. Part of the reason, the biggest reason, is the way they've been playing, the way they've been dominating games, and the way they've been having so much fun doing it. I mean, think right now. Can you think of any team in college football that you've watched on TV that looks like they're having more fun than BYU right now? Probably not. I can't. And that's part of it. The other part is that BYU, besides just playing a fun brand of football, brings a built-in audience. I mean, BYU is a true national program, so a New Year's 6 bowl doesn't have to worry about people traveling, although with BYU they would travel, although actually with the LDS community, a lot of them would just cross the street. But you've also got a lot of eyeballs from a national standpoint that would be on that game, which will be important considering that they will probably have limited seating capacity in those bowls. So there are lots of reasons why BYU is attractive from a standpoint of a New Year's 6 bowl selection.
ESPN's Trevor Matich with us on BYU Sports Nation. Trevor, what did you learn about BYU at Houston that we didn't know about the BYU football program before?
Well, I'll tell you 2 things. One of them, and these are things that they proved. It's not that we didn't know, is that things that they proved for this season and this team. One is that they can come back from behind against a team that's on a roll on the road. That's important. This Houston team is dangerous. They've got a lot of athletes, a lot of big guys that can move on the line. BYU was playing without their big nose guard, Kairos Tonga. And in the opening game that Houston had just the week before, because all their openers had been postponed, they spotted Tulane 2 defensive touchdowns in the first quarter. Then they came back and beat them by 3 touchdowns or so. And so now that they had their feet under them, now they had some rhythm, Houston was that much more dangerous against BYU, jumped on BYU, and BYU fought back. So we learned that about this team. The other thing we learned is that they've got a lot of guys who can cover in the secondary, because that was the big adjustment on defense, where they decided to put more pressure up at the line of scrimmage, trust their guys on the back end to cover down, and guess what? They did.
It was impressive on both sides of the ball, and as you talked about, BYU made defensive adjustments. Couldn't stop Houston at all. They scored on 4 straight possessions, and then to finish the game, Trevor, the defense, 5 drives for Houston, 19 plays, 8 yards. The defense may have won the game for BYU, although the offense had to score, but that was quite the showing given the way they were defending Houston before that.
Yeah, and the defense was the star of this game. The highlights will go mostly to Zach Wilson and the offense, and those guys are deserving of every highlight that gets played of them. But lost in that is the fact that the defense kind of got housed. They got rolled by that Houston passing game early in the game. They made an adjustment, and they came out and became a brick wall. And without that, it wouldn't have mattered what the offense did to score points to come back. Houston just would have kept scoring, and it would have been a track meet that BYU started a half a lap behind. But because the defense made that change, and then just their grit, they bore down with grit is what they did. And it was a joy to watch because there was nothing finesse about it. It was all pure attitude, and it was great.
Trevor, you mentioned the defense stepping up and really becoming collectively the star of the game. In your mind, was there one pivotal play or a memorable play that stands out more than most from BYU at Houston on Friday night?
You know what? I'm trying to think of what that play might be, and it's not standing out in my mind.
There are a number of them, right? I mean, Zach Wilson hits Dax Milne to put BYU up 10 on 3rd and 15. The Chiefs situation, Mason Wake underhand pass. But
that was the one.
I mean,
an onside kick?
An onside kick from Jake Oldroyd. They just crazy high-level plays.
BYU played on Friday night, and then on Saturday I must have watched 20 games. And so some of the details have gotten lost on me there, so you have to forgive me for that. But that play was great, and I loved how Andre Ware on the call invokes Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs about how they pulled that play from them. And then I love the way he talked about Zach Wilson the whole game, even when they were behind. Andre Ware's faith in Zach never wavered. He continued to talk about him the way he has talked about him from Zach's freshman year. And it was amazing to see a Heisman Trophy winner quarterback, Andre Ware, speak that way of the BYU quarterback, knowing that he's not a guy that gives a whole lot of unnecessary compliments. I mean, Andre Ware doesn't just shine people on. If he says something kind about a player, he means it. If he says something about a quarterback relative to the Heisman, he seriously means it. And I thought to me, what stood out probably more than a play, stood out the attitude of old, grizzled, been there, done that, Heisman winner Andre Ware about how this BYU quarterback was playing.
He's been talking up Zach since Zach's freshman year, frankly, and he's been on that bandwagon for a while. Zach is number 1 in the country in completion percentage, 2nd in yards per attempt, 2nd in efficiency, both second to Mac Jones of Alabama. Is he a legit Heisman candidate right now, in your opinion? And the question to me is, can he keep it up?
I think he's a legit Heisman candidate. He may get enough to even get to New York as a finalist. The problem that he has for winning it is 2 words: Trevor Lawrence. And then Mac Jones at Alabama has been lighting it up, and he's been doing it against an SEC schedule that is, 10 games. And that's going to be, it's going to be hard to move ahead of Jones if Jones continues what he's doing because of schedule. Justin Fields of Ohio State is about to start playing. The way the Heisman works in terms of getting to New York is that they take the number of candidates until there's a big drop-off between the last one and the next one. So sometimes you'll see 3 candidates. That's because between 3 and 4, it really dropped off a lot. Sometimes you'll see 5 because between 5 and 6, it dropped off a lot. So in order for Zach to get to New York, he's got to be close enough to the one above him that he can go along and be one of those finalists. Now, not out of the question that he could win it. You never know what might happen. He is certainly playing, in my opinion, at a Heisman caliber level, a Heisman winning caliber level. But there's over 900 voters, and they will take into account probably the schedule, which is something that Zach has absolutely no control over.
Trevor Matich of ESPN with us on BYU Sports Nation, a man who has consumed approximately 96 hours of football in the last 4 days. Trevor, when you look at Zach Wilson and the Heisman conversation compared to BYU being undefeated 5-0 and ranked number 12, from a national standpoint, which is the bigger story and why?
I think the bigger story is the Heisman candidacy, because you could look at the schedule that was reworked, and you could believe that they might be able to go undefeated up until now. Ranked until number 12, or ranked up at number 12, is a really big deal. And to get to number 12 with that schedule shows the respect that the people voting in those polls have for BYU, because normally with that schedule, you wouldn't be that high. And so they're saying that BYU would be a 12th ranked team, even with the tougher schedule. But the Heisman candidacy, I think for people that haven't been following Zach Wilson his entire career, that popped out of nowhere. They probably thought he was just a nice quarterback, had a few nice moments, had played injured a lot. Let's see what he can do. But when he comes in and lights things up the way he's been lighting it up, hitting receivers deep down the field and still having, at least coming into last week, an 81% completion percentage, that is amazing. And most of the time when a quarterback has that kind of a completion percentage, it's because he's throwing at or near the line of scrimmage. Zach Wilson is throwing down the field. And those passes, many of them are pinpoint passes. Even if the receiver isn't well covered, a lot of those are dropping in on dimes as if they were well covered, and that would be complete if they were well covered. And then he beats good coverage also. I don't want to take anything away from him. I'm just saying that I think a lot of people nationally did not expect that Zach Wilson would be able to do the things that he's been doing.
I don't know that we did. I mean, it's been incredible. We thought he'd be way better being healthy and a junior, but it's been awesome. So in the AP poll, BYU's number 12, as you mentioned, they're as high as 4 to a couple of voters, as low as 21. Where would you put BYU?
I think 12 is about right now. I'd like to see them play against Boise State and San Diego State before I would think we'd want to put them up into the top 10. But everything is relative, right? In the AP poll, the Pac-12 and the Big Ten are being included even though they haven't played yet. Now, some of those voters aren't voting for those teams until they play. That's why Ohio State is at number 6 instead of it probably at number 3 right now. Even so, that's kind of a legitimate number 12. And you've got to figure that as conference play goes on in other conferences, there'll be a bit of cannibalization that will go on that will have teams ahead of them lose and allow BYU to move up if they continue to win and look good. But that is the key. They've got to win and look good doing it. No more from a couple weeks ago where they eked out a touchdown win. They've got to look really good. Boise State might be the exception to that, but that's the formula for them to get higher than 12. Keep in mind, New Year's 6, there's 6 polls. That's 12 teams. They don't want to be at number 12 and hope they can get in. It'd be much better if they were at 10 or 9 or even 8. And that's not out of the question, considering that other teams ahead of them might lose.
Yeah, Trevor, you just answered my next question for you, which was, what can BYU do against 2 lowly teams right now in Texas State and Western Kentucky, who are both struggling to legitimately climb into the top 10? Are we talking about 30, 40-plus point wins? Is that what it's going to take for BYU to get to continue to receive that type of attention from the voters?
I don't know that the point total needs to be that much, but they need to dominate the games. They need to get out early, get in control, do a lot of dancing on the sidelines, see their backups come in, and also play very well and do more dancing on the sidelines. That'll be more important than whether the win total is by 20 points or by 40 points. They can't look like they're in trouble against those 2 teams because they combine for a record of 2-9. And so they've got to look good. Then they've got a break, and that break is interesting because what might happen in that break from a scheduling standpoint could make the difference between BYU getting up into the New Year's 6 and maybe even getting into range of the playoff and not, because there are some interesting possibilities that could bring extra games into them, but they've got to get there first. And so they can't overlook either of these 2 teams and win ugly in order to stay where they are.
Trevor, I can't tell you how enjoyable it is at this point of a college football season to be discussing with you for the first time BYU as the number 12 team and a New Year's 6 contender, man, and a dark horse for the playoff. This is wild, man.
It's fun.
Yeah, this so far is going down as one of the most fun BYU football seasons I've ever seen.
Yeah, and that means something coming from you, a national champion. Trevor, thanks for the time.
All right, thanks, guys.
Trevor Matich on the Deseret First Credit Union Hotline. Deseret First, you know why, we show how.
He brought up